Lotta Green Martin, proud producer and proprietor, patriotic projectile party poppers. Got some uppity brown people making trouble for your empire? Replace them with a charred freighter and a cloud of white smoke. So remember, if your next geostrategic boondoggle's going awry, don't call us, we'll call you.
Introducing Cognitive Interrupter Alpha. Oh yeah!
Oh no.
Oh yeah?
No.
Scientifically formulated by men who look like doctors. This supplement has been proven in over 1.5 studies to heighten critical thinking while simultaneously preserving your myopic, Abrahamic nationalist worldview while still keeping you on a short leash of ignorance and fear. Results may vary from person to person. May take 104 weeks to see lasting results. If warts appear...
Hey Doc, what the hell is this?
I don't know, but it don't look right.
Please contact your local Jonestown chapter. And remember to check out Select Auto Shift for a sweet 45-degree win. The globalist Luciferians and their Islamist supplicants are pouring across the borders of several Western nations, including our own. The thrust of their zeal threatens to violate the sovereignty of our way of life, but we can never let it threaten our bodies. Presenting Homogard, a male chastity phallic blocker. It's designed to prevent any jihadi penetration to your rectum while applying moderate pressure to the prostate gland to promote your masculine vitality. Homogard. It is also equipped with an array of nodes to detect the brain activity of any potential Wahhabi salami near you, which will silently alert you with a subtle vibration. Homogard. This is a true breakthrough in health and defense, but don't take my word for it. Homogard made me feel safe, but I'm insecure in a whole nother way now. I never knew just how many Wahhabi terrorists were near me all the time. Thanks, Homogard. It's not a stretch of the imagination that our own bodies are under threat of an invasion, because Homogard has stretched out far more than that for me. We can and will defeat the globalist scum on the home front, but we need to make sure we're well protected around back. Homogard.
Want a casual dining experience that's as creepy as it is fun?
Come on down to Odysee Pizza!
We have an abductable, delectable selection of cheeses and sauces. And don't forget hot dogs. Featuring wholesome live music entertainment that's not at all hypnotic. Go balls deep on one of our many ping pong tables. Then come deep inside and see our newly renovated soundproof daycare. They'll be fine. Try our all-new Spirit Kitchen soups and salads. What the fuck is that? Don't let hunger get away with molesting your day. Pedos to pizza. Good times and creepy vibes, or we'll eat your kids free. You mean kids eat free? Yeah, what you said.
Lotta Green Martin.
Boom! Happy New Year. Okay, well, say goodbye. Say goodbye to the calendar, because that is sold out. Sayonara. If you really wanted to get one, maybe we'll bring it back later in January, but the ones that were bought on New Year's will not arrive till like between the 8th and the 11th, they said, but you know, that's out of my hands, but it will come. I hope you do enjoy. We got some Prince Andrew news. The next little bastard on the map to go down. Where is he? Right here. I guess he's off the page. I need to raise this up here. You can't even see half the map. Anyway, he's in so much trouble. He can't verify that he can't sweat. He can't find a single witness from the pizza place he supposedly was at. He was at Glenn Maxwell's house. There's a fucking photograph of him there with Virginia Giuffre and Glenn Maxwell, a now convicted child trafficker. There you are, British royal, hanging out with a child trafficker who was his bestie. Oh, I wasn't friends with Epstein. I was just friends with Ghislaine. Well, now she's a child trafficker. So how about that, Prince Andrew, Vicky Ward, you others that were buddies with Maxwell? You're friends with a child molesting, child trafficking pedophile. And we all fucking know he was buddies with Epstein, getting his foot massages from Russian girls and the rest of it. It's on film. If I were giving the FBI information, I wouldn't say it. let's just say these maps have gone everywhere. All right, so getting into the new year. By the way, if you want to Shekel chat, the Very Fine People arena is open on Entropy, as well as Odysee. 16 of you watching. It's hardly worth doing these things when it... Jake Coffee just says, fuck him. And Shitty McGee says, oh, Pit Stains himself. Yeah. The moment he says, oh, because my adrenal gland in the Falkland War, I was like, oh, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. There's pictures of him, Google image, sweating his butt off. Apparently, he had a bath and then had sex. It lasted like 2 minutes and he was done. Very, very British royal of him. I guess he just couldn't wait. You know, he's like, it's underage, it's taboo. Yeah. Sick fucker. It's weird, too, that they brought an American girl all the way there instead of just recruiting someone in Britain. But whatever. He had particular taste. And this is one. She was very good at it because, like, they gave her test run on the Dubins and others, all these girls. And I guess Virginia Giuffre knows her craft or whatever. And, I mean, the girl been getting raped since she was 13. So she, like, knew how to make it believable and whatever. So this was the one they chose for Andrew. Like, she's convincing. So sick, man. It's so sick. I guess props to her husband now. I don't know. Tags it says, I sent 3. What is it, Rainbow Frog? And what up from Mexican cock star music. Oh, got it. Mexican rock star music. I totally read that wrong. Singing of cocks, because I'm singing of fucking Prince Andrew. He's pretty much a dick. No. I'm used to names being funny. Someone above you, Charlie Cuck, and something. Happy New Year, Rye. Thank you, Charlie Cuck. I guess that's in reference to the America Firster guy. Let's see. We are live now. Ignore the messages above. We are live. Pete Izzy in the house. Rainbow Frog. 3 peace symbols. 21. Okay, well, less than 24 of you would get to hear this, so... It's such a crap. Getting kicked off YouTube sucks. But, you know, Gabe Hoff's got to run around and be like, that guy's a known Jew hater. You people are Jew haters. When you equate the Israeli state to Jews, when you're saying whatever Israel does is what Jews do, you're being anti-Semitic, a collectivist, and prejudiced. Jews don't want all that on their back. That's like saying whatever America does is the fault of the whites, no matter how many of them disagree with what the American state is doing. CNN's having a hard time. They had to fire one of their pedophiles. One's still there, though. Unbelievable. The one that wanted to fuck his fiance's oldest daughter, who's not very old at all. He's still there. Lone Star Texan says, I'll send 3 to say Odysee is scared of old Slashy, Dagnalon. Maybe you can't put that symbol. I don't know. Just do the slashes. Alyssa Grape says YouTube sucks, so people have to talk in code about interesting topics. It's unwatchable now. Yeah, it is. The ADL's gotten its fingers in there. It's not like Google was very anti-kosher anyway, but yeah, you got to talk in code. There's nobody left, right? You got a couple conservatives like Crowder and Shapiro, and even Crowder's had a little bit of censorship, temporary bans and stuff. Hexenhammer, who just avoids talking about Israel at all, and I guess Tim Pool, who basically reads the news to people. I mean, who's left? Nobody. Atwood has to dodge everything now. Like, yeah, smash the fire button, if you will. I'll go ahead and hit that too. All right, so I want to go over my New Year's picks of the fake news of 2021. Now, some of these stories started before 2021, but they fell apart in 2021, and that's what I'm covering. Man, let me see if Pug's here real fast. Oh, he's boarding a flight. Oh, okay. Okay. I guess I'm doing this one solo. All right, no problem. If you want to contribute, go ahead, or ask a random question. Go ahead. Bring up Stinking Lincoln, whatever. So let me get in here. I put this article on Substack. I love this picture. This is a very old picture, but it's still funny. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Bob Dylan, drummer, Metallica. It's a picture of Prince. I believe that's Prince. Anyway, it's definitely not Bob Dylan. And neither one of them were drummer Metallica. That would have been Lars. But anyway, it's the top fake news stories that fell apart in 2021. And I got a visitor.
Papa food. Papa food.
Papa food? Do you want a daddy sandwich?
Purple.
Purple food? Can you ask Mama for purple food? Maybe purple yogurt? Or grape? Or ginger? Yeah. And that's about all the purple foods I can think of. Good luck. Apparently he wants some purple food. He's eating the rainbow. And it gets pretty hard with blue and purple. There's basically blueberries and grapes. Shut the door, please.
I'll eat rainbow tomorrow.
You can eat rainbow tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right. God, Daddy's working. Can you shut the door? Yeah. Okay, thank you. He's 3. What can you do? Top whoppers that fell apart in 2021. Number 10. I started with Asian hate. Do you remember that? Asian hate. That was a thing. That didn't last very long. But that was like the beginning of 2021. That was all the trendy stuff. Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate. Well, I agree. I mean, you shouldn't hate anybody. But this was never real. The crisis was based on 2 incidents. That's it. It was some white guy in California that actually got beat up by a Chinese lady with a stick. Apparently he was attacking Asians, and then he got his comeuppance. No context for why they were fighting each other was ever given. Just, he's a white guy, so he must have done it. And the other was a white guy in somewhere in the East Coast. It was like Florida. I think he drove up to Georgia too, maybe. Who was shooting sex workers. And some of his victims were Asian and some were not. But hell, that was good enough for CNN because some of them were Asian and the guy was white, so he must have been attacking Asian for their Asianness based on racism. No, I was just some lunatic attacking happy ending massage parlors because he was addicted to them. And rather than blaming himself, he blamed the girls. How very religious of him. Don't blame your own lack of self-control. Blame the women for tempting you, right? And he killed white women too. And some Asians. Had nothing to do with racism. It was a sex addict shooting people for basically, giving hand jobs. And that was it. They couldn't find any other incidences of white on Asian hate. And when they looked at it, like Asians randomly getting knocked out in the street on film. Like, think how rare it is for someone to just be walking along and someone for no fucking reason just comes up and pow and nails them, right? Now think of like what percentage of those would happen to be caught on camera. Well, there were a couple dozen, but in every instance, it was a black guy attacking Asians. Probably homeless, on drugs, whatever, but when you just randomly attack somebody and you're not even robbing them or whatever, that probably is racism. But the racists in all of these incidents were blacks attacking Asians. I don't know if they blamed them for the China virus or they just wanted to hit somebody and figured this person's weak and I can get away with it because there's a lot of old Asian ladies they're attacking. But so Project Veritas does this sting, and a CNN reporter admits on there that most of these attacks were by black people, and we felt like that would hurt BLM, which we want to support. So CNN openly supports Black Lives Matter, which is fine, but just don't act like you're neutral and, the most trusted name in news. I think they misspelled news. It's maybe the most trusted name in nudes because several of their producers, not one, but two, have been caught kitty fiddling or attempting to kitty fiddle. And they had another one fired for protecting his brother for groping women. And the other shoe hadn't dropped on the Cuomos either. But they admit, yeah, we couldn't make this a thing. But social media made it a thing. Stop Asian Hate was all over TikTok and Facebook and Twitter. They were saying, oh, stop Asian hate. Oh, fucking white guys. We got to all band together. There was no Asian hate. There is no Asian hate. There's one guy that shot sex workers. The whole incident really rested on this guy in California who lost his fight, by the way. One white guy. One attacked an Asian. And they're like, it's a pandemic of hatred toward Asians by the evil white man. The reality was, nah. It was a bunch of nibbas attacking Asians. And it was like not unique anytime anyone gets attacked like that on film. 90% of the time is some weird black African American that, because they're not African. These are almost always African Americans. They come and just pop somebody. They got a chip on their shoulder, which is fostered by the press. In fact, when there was an actual hate crime of a black guy running his truck over a bunch of white children in a Christmas parade, you know what CNN did? They lightened his skin to make him look less black. There were people who thought, no, that was a white guy. No, it wasn't. And the picture you saw is fake news. They were so concerned about the optics of it. And, you know, this makes it look worse, by the way. Just when a black guy commits a crime, just admit it. You don't lighten their skin. Or it's like this rap sheet they had. Everybody on it was Latino. Everybody on it was labeled white, though. Which makes you wonder what the real crime statistics are if any crime committed by a Latino or a Jew gets considered white once they are a criminal, right? Just like Rosenbaum, the people attacking Rittenhouse, all Jews and one black guy. And it was like, oh, no, that was all white. They're all white. White people were attacking Rittenhouse. Lovely. So if you're Latino or Jewish and you hurt somebody, then you're white for the crime statistic. But just like a lot of these school shootings, right? Elliot Rodgers was a Jew. The Batman shooter was a Jew. The guy that shot the judge in Arizona was a Jew. Half the Columbine team were Jews. The guy in the Florida high school was a Jew. You know, it's like, oh, they're all white guys, mad, angry white guys. Like, no, those are all Jewish people, but whatever. If you're gonna make race a thing, be accurate about it. But anyway, when a black guy did that, they wouldn't call it a hate crime, even though he's a black nationalist. Like, put his motives online. He was also on Twitter essentially admitting he's a pedophile. He pimped out a 15-year-old who he also got pregnant, who was not his first baby mama. Right? He's gotten multiple women pregnant. In fact, he got in a fight with one of them and ran over her leg with a car prior to run over a bunch of children. This guy's openly racist. Ran over people because he's a racist, because he wanted to kill white people, which he did. And now, no, that's also not, you know, stop white hate or whatever. It's one guy. It ain't the blacks. It's one lunatic racist black guy. That's all. It was not some pandemic across the country of it, but they didn't label it as anything. They lightened his skin. But with the Stop Asian Hate, this was an Apex Legend, had a Stop Asian Hate badge for Epic Games. Venom, the movie, like Spider-Man Venom, he gets on stage as like, Stop Asian Hate. That didn't age well, because by the time the movie came out, Asian hate had already passed and been forgotten about. Because it was never a thing. But CNN and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok tried to make it into a thing, and it wasn't. It was fake news. That's why that one gets my number 10. And it's also something that Twitter protected a fucking pedophile who later ended up running over children with a car. If he had been charged for statutory rape of a 15-year-old girl and been in jail for that, he never would have had the opportunity to be a diesel hunter and run over people's children. he killed some elderly people as well. Killing whites at Christmas. Can you imagine if a white guy drove an SUV over a bunch of black children in a Christmas parade, and he had written all this white nationalist shit, and he was a pedophile? Like, make everything the same. And then CNN going in and darkens his skin. Is that like, can you, no, there is no fucking way that would not be, he would be worse than James Field. They would still be talking about it, and there's systemic racism in the country and yada, yada, yada. That ain't what happened. Black guy does it. It's not blamed on his race, nor should it be, but that's what they do to whites. They don't blame it on his race. They don't go over his history. He should have been in jail anyway. None of that. They don't care. If it weren't for these liberals, there wouldn't be so many baby mamas and people getting pimped and all the rest of it, but that's, you know, they just let people in and out of jail like no big deal. Another fake news story. Again, dealing with race. This is what the CNN does. Horsewhip gate. And I will show you this. Oh, we got a Shekelchat. Lone Star texts and remind us again why Lincoln's assassination was a good thing. I fucking hate Yankees. For fuck's sake. Lincoln had to die. He started the Civil War. And look, it wasn't just Lincoln. They got the Secretary of State the same night, stabbed him in the face, and they shot another cabinet member. It was active war. It wasn't assassination. We were still at war. Lee had surrendered just recently, that April, and then Lincoln gets shot that April. Johnston's still in the field in North Carolina. Sherman's still down there. I mean, the Civil War is ongoing and would continue on into the summer. So, killing the commander-in-chief of the opposing army is what you're supposed to do. And that's what John Wilkes Booth did. He killed Lincoln. And they stabbed Secretary Stewart in the face. Now, he happened to have a neck brace on from a prior incident. If that had not been around his neck, they would have cut his throat and killed him too. It's the man that bought Alaska. And he was really the guy that, the central figure for Reconstruction. You know, and anyway, John Wilkes Booth is a hero. Unfortunately, Andrew Johnson really had his hands tied because Congress would just override all his vetoes. They had 2/3 majority, and they had a military occupation of the South after the war. You know, if Lee had known how it was going to be and how they're going to be treated, he wouldn't have stopped fighting. He wasn't losing battles. He was winning. He just didn't believe in sending more men into slaughter. He thought, you know, how long is the North going to sacrifice people for infinity because they're getting mercenaries? Anyway, Yuri Benzimov says, Happy New Year, Rye. In your opinion, do you think Israel would attack Iran? Because that's all they're talking about. No, not without America. They're not going to do it. Trust me. They don't have it. They hide and shoot from the Mediterranean when they attack Syria, right? One of those stories is about to come up, by the way. Anyway, horsewhip gate. Remember this picture? That's a limp horse rein, by the way. It's not touching the guy. This is an illegal migrant, by the way. He's probably got takeout that they gave him. This is so ridiculous. Based on nothing but a picture, the media decided Haitian migrants were being whipped at the border. Headlines spoke of a grim reminder of history, referring to black slaves being whipped. No one claimed to have been hit with a whip or a rein, and nobody was. The photo is of long reins, which are used to control the horses. Even after this was known, the Biden administration decided it was bad optics, so instead of just explaining the story, they apologized and banned the horses. That's what the left does. If you need to fix something, just ban somebody. Ban horses on border patrol gets backlash from Republicans. Well, thank you, Republicans, for shaking your finger and then actually not really doing anything about it. But, you know, this is the kind of bullshit clown world that we live in. Well, just ban the horses. That'll fix it. And we need horses to patrol the border. And then, another story. Now, this is not fake news that got debunked. It's real news they refused to cover. All these migrant children, over 70,000, were getting transported from Texas to New York in the middle of the night or very early morning. 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, plane loads of children, illegal, by the way, are dropped off in New York and sent to some weird Catholic church run by... Yeah. Weird. Catholic organization run by not a Catholic that's getting thousands of illegal children without their parents or guardians. What the are they doing with all these kids? What do they always do? Let's see how to pronounce this one. Oh, well, Yuri Benzinoff says, Happy New Year, Ryan. In your opinion, what do you think Israel attack Iran? No, they're not. They're not going to do that. Yvette, Yvette. Vette? Vet, if it's French, I don't know. Very thank you for your channel and truth. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, person. I can't pronounce their name. Yvette, I'm just going to say. And then Yuri Benzimov, again, great name, by the way, says, I'm half American, half Assyrian, born in Iraq, Basra, and I even hate fucking Yankees. Half Armenian, I read that wrong. Armenian and Assyrian, what a cool mixture. Well, you guys have been kicked around, you guys done some kicking around too, but born in Iraq, Basra, well, that would give you a good reason to hate Yankees. I mean, it's the New York and Philly banks that pushed and financed both wars in Iraq. It wasn't just the Fed. They're the ones profiteering off this crap. And it's your typical parasites, your Bechtel, your Lockheed Martin, your Kellogg Brown Root, Halliburton, Raytheon, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, and so on. They're all profiteers off the Iraq War, including the Biden family personally. If you have not seen Corn Pop's Revenge, you should do so. I think Sean Morgan's going to play it on his show. I said go for it. Maybe Sarah Westall played on her show. I said go for it. Sell me some Biden maps if you can. There was an Armenian genocide. Let's just admit that. Turks did it. Half Assyrian. Interesting. Well, there are a lot of Assyrians in Syria, and they're being attacked by fucking God's chosen lunatics from the air and Al-Qaeda from the ground. Omicron 2020 says, 2 smokes, let's go. Okay, Ricky. Horsewhip gate. They just wanted to ban something. So, in the next one, number 7 and 8, I decided to go with 2 different fake news stories about ivermectin. Because this is so dumb. We had the Rolling Stones magazine, right, claiming that hospitals in Oklahoma are overwhelmed. They can't even treat gunshot wound victims because of all the people overdosing and being hospitalized from ivermectin, which is a horse medicine. Okay. Never happened. Total fake news. There weren't any hospitals being overwhelmed with ivermectin patients, and they were able to treat gunshot wound victims. Not like they have tons of those, but they were able to do that. The hospital that was named had to call and say, we don't have any ivermectin patients. They just made it up. Did they retract it? Nah. Mass media doubled down. Then, of course, you had the infamous story with Joe Rogan, who said he took ivermectin and he got better, because he did. And they're like, first of all, they used a filter to make him look more sickly than he was. Then they told the world Joe Rogan's taking horse medication. Ivermectin, I had some actually. I took it on air the other day. It's a medication for people. You can also give it to horses. There are a lot of things like that. We give penicillin to horses. Are you going to say, don't take penicillin? That's for horses and cows. It's for people. It works on other animals, but that's definitely... humans use penicillin. We drink milk. Some people give milk to their cats and dogs. Is that now cat and dog food because cats and dogs drink it? Nope. But according to CNN logic, and like Rogan gets their chief science advisor or whatever on, he's like, that's a lie. That's a lie. You said it's horse medicine and it's not. He's like, I don't know why they did that. Then he goes back to CNN with Don Lemon and completely backpedals. They had a little whip the dog session, and he fucking says what he's told to say. Ivermectin does help with COVID, prevent symptoms. You can preempt it. They use it all over Japan. They use it all over India. It's from Japan, by the way. But it's only about 3 cents a dose. So not a lot of profit to be made. There's a lot of profit for the nation because you could keep businesses open, wouldn't have to close things down. You could save people's lives. But no. Pfizer's got to get a paycheck. All those CEOs and presidents and different made-up positions at Pfizer got to get their shekels, so they're going to force you to vaccinate. So there's a double whammy on the ivermectin hoax. They still haven't come out and explained the truth about ivermectin. And the same thing with other medicines like that. Hydroxychloroquine and things that proven to help. And they tell you, nah. And I think part of that is because Trump said you should take it. So they're all like, no, you shouldn't. You know, it's part of that Trump derangement syndrome, the mass media. Next, we have Juicy Smollett. Dave Chappelle was correct in that, as was anybody with common sense. It was such a fucking stupid story. It's like the racial grievance industry. Shout out to Stark, who Talib wrote a great book on that, called Black Lives Matter. The racial grievance industry kicked into high gear on places like MSNBC and CNN, now nicknamed the Children's News Network, where crocodile tears were flowing over Jussie's outrage story. He was beaten up in Chicago, he said, and the attackers wore MAGA hats and were yelling racial and homophobic slurs. It dumped bleach on him, put a noose around his neck, a noose he decided to wear all the way home and still have on when the police arrived. And of course they yelled, "This is MAGA country." Right, and then everybody slow clapped. Never happened. As it turned out, the rope was bought not far away by two men Juicy had hired and paid. They bought the rope with a $100 bill that was part of the $3,500 Jesse had paid them. These idiots were caught on film doing a dry run of the attack. It's on film. And he still denies it. How very CNN of him. There's receipts from the store of all the props they bought. The crime scenario was that of some fantasy of a 12-year-old Antifa's member idea of what racists are like. Even after the trial and all of this evidence against Jesse, he perjured himself by lying to the judge and the jury. He still won't admit he staged the entire thing, despite the men involved admitting it and them all being on film practicing it. You practiced it. You practiced it. It's on film, and we have the receipts for the rope and the bleach and the other crap you use. Jesse has appealed. Obviously, this man is either that delusional or he just wants to stall time before he goes to jail. I'll go with option B. We have the BBC lie about Syrian gas. One of many of the same lie. That finally got debunked. I got the story there. I think Patrick, let's see who it was. BBC admits Syrian gas attack reported serious flaws in Victory for Truth after, they made this bullshit documentary too, based on somebody named Alex. Such crap. Peter Hitchens helped debunk this, by the way. But this is, in this one, I had to put up the A&C documentary because there's so much to explain about the lies about Syria that I don't even have the breath or time, and you can tell my throat's sore and I can barely speak as it is. But if you have not seen this, come to Substack and click this, because we made a film about Syria, Israel's Invisible Hand. It's on PeerTube. I'll put it on Rumble and Odysee later. It is super good. Maps
Syria
and everything
and Lebanon via
that you'd want to see.
The Gulf states.
We got
Turkey
the documents.
Want in order to isolate the Syrian
You can also
regime,
watch the debate I had with
considered
Destiny, because I basically gave him a free education on Syria and that too. This is one you need to watch. All right, just saying. Plug in that film. Plug that there. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's free. And spread that around. Anytime you're arguing about Syria, instead of re-explaining the argument over and over again, just Go to the ANC Syria film. We have another one, additional film, short one on just more about the weapons trade itself. You can get that too. All right, number 4, I chose fake news story. It was Kyle Rittenhouse. Let me check the Shekel Arena real fast. Let me check the Odysee Arena. Let's see if there's anything on Odysee. Yes! Men Like Gods with 25 says, Happy New Year. Can we get a daily show at a set time? It's always 10 o'clock a.m. Japan time, which is, I think, 8 p.m. Eastern. So 8 p.m. Eastern every day. Every day I do a show, that's when it is. Sometimes I do extra shows at different times, but there's always one at 10 a.m. Tokyo time or 8 p.m. Eastern. So that's what today started, right? 39 minutes ago or whatever. So thank you, Men Like Gods. It is at 8 p.m. Eastern on Odysee or VK. And then copies go to PeerTube. And copies go to Rumble sometimes and Bitchute sometimes. So that's, that's what's going on there. You can actually read, and when you're not watching on Odysee, because the bitrate's so slow, if you're watching on VK, you can actually see the screen and what I'm saying. It's all fucked up looking on Odysee, but we have Odysee open because they're the only one with Shekelchats. If you want a more clear video, follow this link right here. Watch it on VK. Also, add me on VK if you have it. If you don't, you should get it because your Facebook's going to get banned for 30 days eventually. Just start using VK. It's the same thing. In fact, why don't we go over there, shall we? Let's go over there. This is VK. It'll come up in a second. The video still won't be clear because it's going to be on Odysee again. But, like, the same thing is playing, right? Hello. Oh. Yeah. It's going to be playing the video, playing the video, playing the video. All right, that doesn't work. But anyway, that is there. So, Jesus, Odysee, come on. Anyway, I think it's 5 p.m. on the West Coast. Thank you, somebody on the West Coast. 8 p.m., 5 p.m., and 10 a.m. if you're in Australia or Japan. Okay, so Rittenhouse. I need to get some. Let me get a drink. I'm going to put you on a commercial real quick.
Lotta Greed Martin, proud producer and proprietor, patriotic projectile party poppers. Got some uppity brown people making trouble for your empire. Replace them with a charred freighter and a cloud of white smoke. So remember, if your next geostrategic boondoggle's going awry, don't call us, we'll call you.
Introducing Cognitive Interrupter Alpha. Oh yeah!
Oh no.
Oh yeah?
No.
Scientifically formulated by men who look like doctors. This supplement has been proven in over 1.5 studies to heighten critical thinking while simultaneously preserving your myopic Abrahamic nationalist worldview while still keeping you on a short leash of ignorance and fear. Results may vary
Poor Barry.
from person to person. May take 104 weeks to see lasting results. If warts appear,
Hey Doc, what the hell is this?
I don't know, but it don't look right.
please contact your local Jonestown chapter. And remember at checkout, select auto shift for a sweet 45-degree win. The globalist Luciferians and their Islamist supplicants are pouring across the borders of several Western nations, including our own. The thrust of their zeal threatens to violate the sovereignty of our way of life, but we can never let it threaten our bodies. Presenting Homogard, a male chastity phallic blocker. It's designed to prevent any jihadi penetration to your rectum while applying moderate pressure to the prostate gland to promote your masculine vitality. Homogard. It is also equipped with an array of nodes to detect the brain activity of any potential Wahhabi salami near you, which will silently alert you with a subtle vibration. Homogard. This is a true breakthrough in health and defense, but don't take my word for it. Homogard made me feel safe, but I'm insecure in a whole nother way now. I never knew just how many Wahhabi terrorists were near me all the time. Thanks, Homogard. It's not a stretch of the imagination that our own bodies are under threat of an invasion, because Homogard has stretched out far more than that for me. We can and will defeat the globalist.
I got a nice ANC mug, no longer available. End all aid to Israel on the other side. I hope to make that again with a new company. Got a visitor again. What you doing? Do you want to say hello? Come here. Are you going to say hello?
No, I want to test you make a diamond with me.
Okay. Say hi.
Hi.
Make a diamond. Okay, what you do is...
Make a triangle.
Make a triangle. I need 3, please. There you go.
And 2.
2.
Stick. And then...
Fold. And that's a diamond. Very good. Everybody clap for you. Hooray. Please let me work now. He wanted to make a diamond. He makes shapes out of magnets. Okay. Kyle Rittenhouse was the fake news story number 4. And y'all, you're welcome to disagree with my list or if I forget something, but let me check the big arena real fast. Nothing there. All right. Did it get crisper? Yeah, I mean, what I'll do is I will upload the video to Odysee, like the raw file, and I think that'll be crisper than doing the live stream, because it just can't live stream, really. Anyway, you can watch it very clearly on VK, or I don't know if Entropy plays or not, but you can definitely watch it in VK, and it'll be clear there. You can open 2 windows. You can have VK open to watch the stream, and then, just Shekelchat on Entropy or Shekelchat on Odysee. I don't know what else to do. So Rittenhouse did nothing wrong, which a court agrees with. An unanimous jury, but unanimous jury decision on that, by the way. I guess I could, it don't matter. Here, I'll show myself. But if you were to put that on your Twitter account, you would get banned. If you said Rittenhouse did nothing wrong, you'd lose your account. But he didn't do anything wrong. However, liberals across the country were shocked to watch the trial and find out, no, Kyle did not cross state lines with a gun. No, he was not an active shooter. He did not chase after people. He did not shoot black people. But if you got all your news from MSNBC or your ABC and NBCBS news, you would think he was a monster that went out to a mostly peaceful protest and shot up minorities. The reality was Rittenhouse was already there because that's where he worked. He spent the night at a friend's house. That's where some of his family lived, including his dad. He was washing off graffiti from vandalized property for 2 nights prior to the incident. And then a mob of Black Lives Matter and Antifa terrorists had destroyed blocks of territory and property, setting most of it on fire for 2 nights in a row. Not a single person had been arrested. They were reacting to an earlier police shooting of Jacob Blake, who many wrongly believed was killed. He wasn't. He also had a knife and was kidnapping a child. That doesn't matter because he's a black guy, white cop. You notice a lot of these stories involve race. This is the thing with CNN, right? This is their thing. The Asian hate crap, the Horsegate whipping crap, Kyle Rittenhouse crap. It's all race stuff. A serial pedophile was fresh out of a mental hospital. Prior to that, he'd been in jail for 10 years for raping 5-year-olds. Joseph Rosenbaum threatened to kill Kyle. Later in the night, he was swinging a chain and setting things on fire. He spotted Kyle and yelled on film, "I'll kill you, motherfucker," followed by "you won't do shit," referring to Kyle's gun. Well, he fucked around and found out. After trying to run away from Rosenbaum, who chased Kyle across 2 parking lots, Kyle pointed his gun at him. Rosenbaum kept coming, and in his final moments was touching the gun, so Kyle shot him dead. Just before this happened, Joshua Zeminski, another amateur porn Antifa member, fired his own gun into the air. Following the death of the pedophile, Kyle was hit with a rock which caused him to fall. A man named Maurice Freeland kicked him in the head. Another guy named Skater Die, or Anthony Huber, started to hit him with a skateboard and tried to take his gun. He got shot. He fucked around and found out. It turns out he was also a felon who liked to choke women. Lashley Gades Grosskreutz, who was on probation for breaking and entering, pointed his gun that he was illegally in possession of in Kyle's face. Kyle blew the thug's bicep off. At least 5 people attacked Kyle. 3 of them were shot. 2 of them were killed. At no point did Kyle attack anyone. So somebody hit him with a rock. Somebody kicked him in the head. Somebody hit him with a skateboard. Then Rosenbaum was chasing him, and Grosskreutz pointed a gun in his face. This was a terrorist mob attacking one person for having the audacity to put out fires and not allow them to, destroy people's property. This was self-defense from a violent gang that was setting a city on fire. It was all on film from multiple angles. It never should have gone to trial, and Kyle should not have been arrested. However, he was, and he spent 87 days in jail thanks to his insane, and I mean that, insane and incompetent QAnon lawyer Lynn Wood. He spent more time in jail than the Iraq War serial liar Judith Miller, who went to jail for 85 days for her role in the Plymouth Fair. Third, I got Russiagate. If you don't know what that is, I got a video from it. Sky News actually did a nice summation. This went on for years. Them claiming the 2016 election was hacked by Russia. Seth Rich was murdered over this. Another claim was Trump got pissed on by hookers. There was PP Gate, and there were no Russian hookers. There was no being peed on, unless you're talking about Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden saw Russian hookers, and Hunter Biden got pissed on. I don't know if this will play.
One of the greatest hoaxes in journalism.
It does, but it's 13 minutes long. I would implore you just to go watch that yourself instead of me playing the video. I mean, you all know Russiagate by now. I'm just including that in the thing. Then there's Hunter's laptop. During 2020 presidential election debates, President Trump brought up Hunter Biden's laptop. Joe Biden confidently responded that this was Russian disinformation and not true. Whatever they don't like comes from Russia, right? That's Russian disinfo. That's not true. Well, it wasn't. Hunter lost not 1, but 3 different laptops. One by 2 Russian hookers when he passed out in a laptop jacuzzi in Las Vegas. On these, he's illegally using drugs, seeing prostitutes, including very, very young ones, and making quid pro quo deals with foreign states. And then, of course, the big one is January 6th. There are a series of lies about January 6th. Joe Biden called it a white supremacist insurrection. He also called Kyle Rittenhouse a white supremacist. There was a claim that a cop was beaten to death with his fire extinguisher. That didn't happen. It was not an insurrection either, as people were not even armed other than the FBI COINTELPRO. They had weapons. They killed Ashley Babbitt. Some government baboon shot her, an unarmed wife from California wearing a Trump flag as a cape. I guess they thought she had superpowers or something. And it certainly was not white supremacist. The rally was called Stop the Steal. People were there, whether you agree with them or not, to protest what they sincerely believe was voter fraud. And they were not alone. Swing states with questionable votes that had came in nearly exclusively by the mail in the middle of the night with only one party observing, that all went for Biden, decided to send dual delegates to D.C. legally. They had signed opposition, as according to the rules, of a congressman and a senator. In fact, they had 50 congressmen. The vice president was to hear the inconsistencies they found, and that was the first time the mass media would not have control over the narrative. Anyone watching the House floor would get to hear why people were contesting the legitimacy of the election. And no, not from kooks like Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell, but from actual adults. All of this was stopped shortly after Arizona started to have people speak. The states went alphabetically, so this was the first swing state to speak. Those arguments were being made, and it all got shut down because the Capitol of trespassing, which is all it was, disrupted the event. Congressmen curled up in the fetal position in fear. Social media made it forbidden to express any doubt about the election. This is in stark contrast to 2016, which they blamed Hillary's loss on Russia for 4 years. A lie expressed all over social media and mass media for many years. None of it was true. I wish people had got to hear the argument that was made from Arizona. They're talking about, well, we've got all these ballots with no serial numbers or duplicate serial numbers. We've got a bunch of funny business, dead people voting, people from other states voting, people who had moved from one part of the state to another voting twice. All these irregularities and all for Democrats. Nope, didn't get to hear it. And they made January 6th seem like the Reichstag fire or something. And that was the end of that. So those were my top 10. January 6th, the Hunter laptop, Russia Gate, Kyle Rittenhouse, the Syrian gas attack, Jussie Smollett, a couple on ivermectin or COVID, Horsewhip Gate, and Stop Asian Hate. If I missed a big one, let me know. There's so many lies. It's hard to keep track of all of them. But let me know. Checking the Bigot Arena, Omnitron said, Corey Trevor, do you want to go for a ride in the car? I love the court scene. We're like, no, Corey Trevor, I don't want to do that, Corey and Trevor. Checking Odysee as well. Seems like Men Like Gods was the only one to use Odysee, but he's a fucking Chad because he sent 25. I prefer you to use Odysee. They give me a better cut than Entropy does. But I realize Entropy is what people are used to. And maybe the video plays better over there. I don't know. But thank you, Omnitron, Yuri Bismanoff, Yvet, Lone Star Texan, and Men Like Gods. And thank you, P. Dizzy, for spamming the links around. That's all good. I'll have a fresh copy that is actually visible up on PeerTube later today and Odysee. It'll also go on the A&C report like all the videos do. Remember, 10 a.m. every day. I don't think I'm doing one tomorrow. Well, actually, I will be, but it'll be on Telegram tomorrow. And then we're going to have Varg and Pug on Telegram later in the night, which is morning for you, most of you. And then we got some new mech news coming. I got to reiterate what I said at the beginning of the stream, too. Prince Andrew is going down. He's the next fucker on the map to go down. If you don't have an Epstein map, you better. This is a historical piece. I really feel like. Get the 2021 Epstein map. That's another lie of omission, right? Is not going over Glenn Maxwell's trial the way they should have. And there were several of these things. It's, not talking about the children flown from the border, not covering the Maxwell trial, never talking about Israel attacking Syria or Gaza, which they just did, Hunter's laptop, which they lied about, the Biden diary that they lied about, and then raided a house to go and acquire. Nothing to see here, but we're going to have to send the FBI to go get it, even though it's fake and fake news and nothing in there. It's real. The Bidens are sick. Go watch Corn Pop's Revenge. You know what? We should stream that tomorrow. I'll see if there's a way to put that on a timer or something. If not, I'll just re-upload it to A&C for sure. But there you go. Y'all have a good night wherever you live. And I will see you on Telegram in about 20 minutes. Peace. Kids are home. You know, it's our Christmas New Year's break. Oh, wait. Ariel Suarez for 5 crypto somethings. Hey, trying to be more active. I have actually watched your content for quite some time. Hey, thank you. I was just about to end the stream, though. But I'm glad you appeared. Don't worry, a copy is up on VK right now. And as soon as I end this, I'm going to upload them to all the other things. So that's why it takes me 20 minutes to get on Telegram. Ta-ta.
Lot of Green Martin, ground producer and proprietor, patriotic projectile party poppers. Got some uppity brown people making trouble for your empire. Replace them with a charred freighter and a cloud of white smoke. So remember, if your next geostrategic boondoggle's going awry, don't call us, we'll call you.
Introducing Cognitive Interrupter.